It's 777 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, and just has enough room for me to sleep, eat, and relax in. I'm assuming that all of you one day want to become a homeowner one day. But what if I said that Americans spend from 1/3 to 1/2 of their income on their home? And that 76% of Americans live from paycheck to paycheck. Today we're gonna look at expensive mortgages, what caused this, and why you should envision a tiny house as your dream home. Furthermore, according to the Tiny Life, they estimate the upkeep in buying a house for over 30 years is equal to $1,073,000. Obviously, this is very expensive, and it might not be feasible for people with low credit scores or people who don't have a lot of money to upkeep. And according to Bo Joyner in their 2015 article, Living Large in a Tiny Home, the average American home is 2,662 square feet, while the average tiny home is between 100 to 400 square feet, which is equal to 11 tiny houses per one average American home. And the national average home loan is $222,261 with a $1,061 average monthly payment for a 30-year mortgage at 4%. And that's from Realtor Magazine from January 2015. Obviously, this is very expensive. Like I said, people who don't have a lot of money or who have a low credit score who are unable to get a down payment on a house, being a homeowner may not be an obtainable goal for them. And while people may be able to rent houses, it's not your home. You don't have that sense of ownership that you would have buying a home. But they can take out a small loan and build their tiny house, and yes, it is possible. According to TechInsider.com from their 2016 article, this is Joel Weber. He is a student at the University of Texas at Austin, and he was fed up with the price of living in Austin, so he built his own 145 square foot mobile tiny house for $15,000. So you could just be just like him and live in a tiny house. What causes this is Americans believe that bigger is better and that huge is best. Even though the national average of children that are given birth to per parents has drastically gone down, people still tend to buy more house for less people. And according to Anna Swanson in her July 2015 Washington Post article, houses today are typically around 1,000 square feet larger than they were in 1973, and the living space per person has doubled over the last 40 years. So we're buying more house, but we really don't need it. We're accumulating more clutter to fill these homes when really you only use about half of your home. A solution for this is tiny homes. Tiny homes can either either mobile for the more adventurous or stationary for the more practical buyer. And tiny homes enforce the sense of environmental sustainability, simplicity, independence, and a sense of adventure. And for the more environmentally conscious, you can have solar panels or a composting toilet to have a complete self-sustaining unit. And other benefits include, since it is a smaller space, there is no wasted space. Everything is efficient and every space is used. Since there is less house to furnish, you can buy more higher-end finishes to furnish your house, and ultimately it will be less. And obviously, if you have a mobile home, you can take it wherever your heart wanders. And so, in conclusion, we first looked at expensive mortgages, what caused this, and why you should consider a tiny house being your dream home.